UK column is only Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now.
That's right.
So that's a change.
Yes, you UK column listeners.
I know what's up.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday for your new episodes of UK column with Mike Robinson, Brian Garish, and their cast of characters and analysts. I shouldn't call them characters. They're not characters. They're very serious analysts. Right, Spore?
Absolutely. They're great analysts.
And you're very serious, too. I see you very seriously watching the chat room. I know it's serious business.
It is. It's very serious.
It's serious business. Is Jolene in there? Hi, Jolene.
There is Jolene.
Jolene. Do a decent Dolly Parton?
No, move on.
No, move on. Moving on swiftly. Okay. Speaking of... Wait a minute. Oh. Okay, well, at any rate, please support the Boiler Room if you like the Boiler Room. We have a Patreon page. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a nifty little website where you can go and support the creators and artists and people that you dig who do stuff, broke-ass motherfuckers like me with no job other than this microphone. You can support us. You can be a supporter for Alternate Current Radio, for...
You can keep the station alive with
Jay's Analysis. Lots of people have Patreons. It's a really cool platform for the most part, unless they deplatform you, which they seem to have done to a few people, but they have no reason to do that to us because we're nice, we're cool, and I don't know what anyone's fucking problem could possibly be with us. Right, Swar?
Well, it turns out a lot of people don't like us.
Is that because we're in the center?
I think
are we in the center? I don't know. Are we on the outside? Are we in the center? I don't know where the hell we exist.
I think we're probably on the outside of it all.
Probably. We're out here shooting three-pointers into a game that we're not invited to.
Here's the thing. You put a word on us, you put a title on us, outside, center, right, left, whatever.
Then some dickweed will come along and ruin it.
Or we just won't fall into that
Or we'll eventually upset the people that call themselves that category.
Or there will be an infiltrator, and they'll start claiming to own that category and act like a dipshit.
Infiltrating dipshits. Oh, my God. Welcome to Alternate Current Radio. Yes, we're so glad you all joined us tonight.
Social Rejects is, I think, the best title if we did have one.
We do fall back on that one often because it's got our TM on it. It's got our,
reality.
Yeah. Our DNA stains. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. We have a chat room, alternatecurrentradio.com/chat. If you're out there listening at Spreaker.com and you want to come check it out, that's where the live action is happening. I see links getting dropped in there already and memes, and the meme war is hot. The meme war is hot. I don't know about World War III or World War Middle East, but the meme war is ongoing, and it is at DEFCON 1. The meme war is nuclear.
It's so weird. I just have to, before we, I know we haven't even done the icebreaker, we haven't introduced our guests. Or
Fuck it, go for it. Just say it.
I just want to say that it's so bizarre to me that we're in a day and age of some of the most prevalent people in our times that are using memes and quick blanket statements on social media to get messages across. This is such a
You don't even have to leave the house anymore. You can just repost someone's meme. You don't even have to make your own meme. You can just go out there and look for two words that are like juxtapositional or conflagrating or
what the president's saying.
Whatever. Yeah,
bizarre.
You can do that too.
It's amazing.
All right. Anyways, yes, please support us via Patreon if you're out there and you're a Patreon user. If you're not a Patreon user, you can get out there and find out how to become one. It's real easy. We've got a link at alternatecurrentradio.com/donate. We also have a swear jar over here. That's what we refer to our PayPal as. So if you have a PayPal account and you want to help us out via that route, you can find the email address associated with our PayPal over there. Also at alternatecurrentradio.com/donate. That's how you help us out. We're pretty much self-funding at this point, aside from the little bits that our patrons and our swear jar donors toss in there, and some of our good friends and contributors like jaysanalysis.com and a couple of other people who are probably on the call tonight. We appreciate all of you very much, and without you guys And without Spore and Badger and myself, I don't know how the hell we would do this. We don't have long-term plans at this point. It just kind of depends month to month. So it's up to you guys. It's up to us. We're all holding hands here. Kumbaya. Boiler Room number 181. We've been here for 181 boiler rooms, going on 3+ years now. Look, the meme war, there it is. It's going hot right there in the chat room. All right, let's get into this, Spore. We're going to do some introductions first. That's about all I have for housekeeping. Also, of course, you can find us with regards to housekeeping. You find us at Spreaker.com. That is our primary broadcast platform. That's what you'll find embedded on our webpage. That's where you'll find our thousands of hours of talk and music radio over there archived at Spreaker.com. Right, Spore?
That's right. There's some gold in there. So much information.
Yeah.
So many funny moments and just stuff that you would not hear anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. Hey, Max, go ahead and mute if you got your speakerphone on. I'm getting some slapback. From somebody. I'm not looking at the Spreaker, but kind of sounds like Max's slapback. Okay. Speaking of Max, why don't you just go ahead and unmute and I'll introduce you first. We've got our good friend Max joining us once again on the Boiler Room. How are you? And welcome back to the Boiler Room, Max.
Hey, yes sir, I'm doing great. It's Thursday night, it's Boiler Room night, what's not to be excited about? And also, before I finish, I just want to give you props for using the word juxtapositional.
Hey, thanks. I like that word.
It's a good word.
It is. It's a good word. You can.
It's no wonder we have so few listeners. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, really. People are looking it up left and right. No, I'm kidding. Our listeners are very smart and they have vast vocabularies.
Yes, they do.
All right. Okay, Max. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us. And let's go over to the UK next because we got Mr. the one and only, the infamous Funk Soul joining us for this Boiler Room, the 181st Boiler Room. Welcome to the show, Funk Soul. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Great to be back in the #1 Social Rejects Club on the show.
Yeah, that's right. We need to get some patches. I want to have some Social Reject patches made so that people can patch themselves in on their leather biker jackets or their crocheted vests. I don't know, Spore. We have listeners of all types and
we need stickers,
ages.
We need patches,
we need those stickers
t-shirts.
with the oil inside that you can push around and make like inside. Remember those? Those are cool. You can put them in your sticker book back in 1986 when you were in 6th grade or whatever.
Those were cool.
Yeah, those were cool. All right, Funk Soul, welcome to the show. Glad to have you back. And
cheers, man.
Yeah. And up next, our man. He immigrated here from Egypt. He goes by Infidel Pharaoh. Infidel Pharaoh, welcome back to the Boiler Room. How are you on this fine Boiler Room night?
I'm doing perfect.
Perfect.
Wow.
All right.
That's stellar.
That is stellar. That is top. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. And we've got Mr. J. M. Effin Dyer of jaysanalysis.com, author of Esoteric Hollywood, joining us once again. Jay Dyer, welcome back to the Boiler Room. How the hell are you?
I'm good. I heard you questioning memes. Are you not aware that memes are the future? Memes got Trump elected. Memes
they are
the
now.
political cartoons of our day. I gained at least 500 followers on Twitter this week just from sharing memes. If it works, do it, baby.
As a matter of fact, the Russians invented memes just to make sure that Donald Trump got it on.
They hacked the DNC through memes.
Yes, we will take the world back from all these frickin' psychos with memes alone, folks. You don't even have...
And the left can't meme. It's true. They can't.
That's
They
right.
can't.
That is right. The left can't meme. The mainstream can't meme. All these other whack MCs can't meme. We can meme.
Dude, I wasn't trying to say anything bad about memes. I was just trying to say, wow, we're in a time. This time is different than I would have ever expected before.
Wowzers. We're memeing. We're newsing. And we don't even have to move but 10 feet away from the toilet. How about that?
Just meme, and probably get a zillion followers. Just you do the Sulu model. George Takei, isn't that kind of what Takei did? Wasn't he pioneering that by just, I guess he's the leftist that can meme, as he pioneered that. Or it wasn't even him. It wasn't that like some fake profile that went by George Takei, remember, on Facebook?
I think you're right. And it made such a name for him that he probably had to hire a social media manager to meme for him. It's probably like...
Yeah, it got like 1 million or 2 million followers.
Yeah.
Or more.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you got the Skrillage, you may as well hire yourself a social media manager and just meme your way into internet famedom. Why not?
You can just meme something like this. I got 2 million followers from meming. Check out how.
Check out my memes. Yo, if there's a problem, I'll solve it. I'll meme my way.
That's what Baked Alaska did to get like 250,000 Twitter followers before they just deleted it. He was just memeing.
Amazing.
Memeing Trump memes.
Much better than his raps.
Oh my god.
Talk about
auto-tune.
Because I'm Alaskan.
Talk about whack MCs. Jeez.
There's one of them that's good. There's one that's an actual good rap song.
He should focus on that one and try to do more like that.
Well, it's funny because he pulled that one. Like, he doesn't want that one online. And it's him and some black dude rapping in a convenience store in Las Vegas or somewhere. And so he pulled that one, but he left up like the Trump and the cop one.
Oh,
Why was there something he said in it that made him
I don't know.
pull that? Or yeah.
I know. I watched that latest one and I was like, okay, it's going to get funny in a minute here, right? And then like a minute later, I was like, it's not funny yet. There's going to be a funny part. And another minute later, I was like, I'm clicking out. This is stupid. Sorry, Baked, but that was really dumb. Whack MCs all over the not the alternate current radio, but the alternative media is full of whackness. Lots of whack out there.
No, all media.
You know what's not whack, though? When Spore brings us Icebreakers. So there's the sound. Everybody heard it but you, Spore, and everybody on the call. So what are we going to open the show with tonight?
Apologize to my Twitter friends. I didn't get a chance to see the options there, and I landed with this one, which is meh.
Oh, we might have had better options. You know what? Screw it. We'll go with the meh one. Somebody's slapping back there. I think it might be Max. Max, go on mute if you can. Go ahead, Spore. What do we got?
So, Washington Post opinion article came out and is claiming that the hurricane that is arriving on the East Coast today in the Carolinas, I believe North Carolina state.
North, whatever.
Yeah. They're blaming Trump for this hurricane, and it's not like a conspiracy theory article or anything like that. It's basically saying that his opinions on changing climate change laws, his disrespect for the way that emissions are affecting the planet from people's cars and their hairspray and stuff like that have caused this hurricane.
Did he actually change something?
Yeah, or he didn't change things.
It's just the general disrespect of the concept.
Of which is, when I say climate change, when they say climate change, what they're saying is global warming, which is something that they changed the words from global warming to climate change because, scientifically speaking, it has not gotten hotter on the planet.
And the climate does change.
And
it's a little cooler here than it was last week.
Yes. But when they are referring to this in this article, they're speaking specifically about human-created climate change. So basically things like I was just saying, like driving an SUV or using aerosol hairspray.
Putting on your Aquanet while you listen to Bon Jovi.
Yeah, these things are ruining the planet, you evil human beings.
You crazy Bon Jovi listeners.
Trump didn't take away your right to use aerosol hairspray, then this hurricane would not be hitting the East Coast.
Well, Barack, he didn't take away my right to use Aquanet, and there was some hurricanes on his watch. Is that his fault, too?
That's irrelevant. We're talking about Trump
Oh, we're not supposed to remember the previous
That's correct.
years.
Yes.
Oh, my bad. Well, I don't have a lot to say about that except for that's stupid. What outlet put that out? That's probably
Washington Post.
Washington Post. You're stupid. You're whack MCs. You're whack publicists. You don't belong on the interwebs. Someone at Silicon Valley should censor your stupid asses. How about that?
I'm totally. I agree with that.
Like, I don't even need to have the climate change discussion. I'm over that one. We've done it so many times. Like, you know, if you can't do the Google foo to figure out that the climate changes season to season and that oftentimes space climate changes too and goes along with historical climate change, and that this whole claim of 97% of scientists agree when there weren't even 97 scientists on the stupid study that everybody refers to. If you're a Joe Rogan acolyte and you just believe everything that dude says and he loves climate change as a topic, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
we don't care. Just keep doing
And
that
Darwinism
stupid
as well.
shit.
Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
What?
Rogan, Darwinism.
Yeah. Oh, and then
Yeah.
I mean, just to,
Chimps!
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
just a little dovetail on that. If you're going to ignore the fact that we've got chemtrails flying off of planes all over the place, and that there's HAARP and there's all these different weather modification things, that should be addressed and acknowledged. To sit there and be like, Trump didn't put a limit on how many gallons of gas I could use a month, or how much carbon dioxide.
Are you inferring that people didn't look to see that there are patents going back to the 70s and treaties going in the United Nations going back to the 1970s about weather modification?
That's right.
How dare you? Take that tinfoil hat off. You're going to alienate a whole bunch of listeners.
Sorry. Y'all should be alienated.
Sorry. Okay, all right. Well, in all seriousness, there's a hurricane coming, and the Washington Post wants to blame it on the president. I don't care what you think of the president. That's just stupid. That's just mainstream media stupidity. Being stupid. I don't know what else to say about it. Dumb.
That's it.
That's all.
That's all, folks.
I think anyone else in the room could jump in on that, but I'm taking the silence as a mass agreement, or I just steamrolled the hell out of the whole room. Either way, you guys know you can jump in whenever you want.
Cow farts. Not a lot to.
So that was
cow farts.
That was something that was
Methane.
Yeah, well, that was something that when I was taking botany in college, my teacher had told me, or told the entire class, that how that actually has more effect on the ozone layer, is the methane from cow farts. That has more effect on the ozone layer than cars.
Well, we should all become vegans and eat bugs. Wait, do vegans eat bugs?
It doesn't matter if
Do
you're a
they love the
vegan or not,
bugs?
because cows will starve. They're still going to fart.
So we should eat the cows
It doesn't matter.
so that they don't fart.
It was nothing about
Or
eating
we should
cows.
not eat the cows
It's just
so they're not so many of them. I'm confused. What do they want us to do here with
They
the
don't
cows?
want us to do. It's not about doing something with the cows. It's
But the
just
vegans
saying,
don't want us to eat them. But if we eat them, there's going to be less cow farts.
Just don't breed cows.
Oh, maybe we should just kill them all.
Or just breathe in the cow farts with some apparatus that attaches it to your nose, and we can directly inhale the methane and it doesn't go into the atmosphere.
Jay Dyer just saved the fucking planet.
Thank you, Jay.
We're going to take all the vegans. I'm just kidding with you guys. You guys know I love you. We're going to take all the vegans and we're going to attach them.
And the cows are going to fart in their face.
Yeah, we're going to attach them to cow asses via gas masks so like nothing can slip out, and all the love and all the feels will happen. Nobody will eat the cows, and
I think they should do this as an act of solidarity with Mother Earth.
I just want to say
agree.
I really
We can save
appreciate
the
our
planet.
vegan listeners
we can save the planet this way, you
for
guys.
putting up with this.
Gonna piss off some Hindus, man.
All right, we're sorry. I'm sorry to the cows. I'm sorry to the vegans. We're just joking around. We're just trying to figure out how to save the planet here, because
That's not-
apparently Donald Trump let there be too many cows to fart too much, and Bon Jovi, let there be too many chicks with big hair to aqua spray too much. What's it called? Aquanet. And we're just trying to save the planet here, you guys. Spore's looking at me like I'm just insane. All right, I'm sorry. Hook yourself up to a cow.
Before you move on, though, on a more serious note, somebody mentioned, I guess it was you, Hesher, somebody mentioned HAARP, and that's important because there's some pretty interesting stuff on the internet there about HAARP.
Right, and
being
that's
probably the number one candidate for causing global warming.
And there are more than just the one like HAARP unit up there in Alaska. In all seriousness, this technology is dated by now. There's one in India. They have them all. I think there's at least 7.
Scandinavia, Tromsø.
There was something off of the California coast down there in Santa Cruz when we were living out there.
There will be a whole chapter on this, by the way, in the Esoteric Hollywood sequel about
awesome
geoengineering and how it's presented in film and which films were telling us about this ahead of time, such as the Razzie Award-winning 1998 bomb, The Avengers, with Uma Thurman and Sean Connery and Ray Fiennes. Yeah, the whole movie is about Sean Connery playing the character from The Tempest, Prospero, who's a magician who can cause storms, and so he actually holds the planet hostage by his weather technology, and of course blames it on all kinds of things. Actually, a lot of revelation of the method in that film is pretty crazy for being something so preposterous and goofy. It's worth watching. And so anyway, so I did an analysis of it a long time ago, and I kind of reformulated that, updated it, and made it better. This comes up even in Bond films where they utilize weather weapons and so forth. So
nice one. Yeah, and we can go from that one, and I'm sure plenty before it, all the way up until most recently we had the Geostorm. Remember there was that movie Geostorm?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was so bad that I only mentioned it in like a sentence. I couldn't do a whole analysis of that piece of crap.
Yeah, we just watched the trailer and we feel like we saw the whole thing.
Well, if it's a Michael Bay movie, that's pretty much true, yeah.
Right.
I was going to say, too, on a serious note, everybody should watch that movie or that documentary. Because there's always people who are skeptical and they think weather modification and control is crazy. But if you listen to my talk that I did on the Pentagon's brain, people were putting out memes actually last week that echoed the point that I made in that talk on that book, because they were doing weather modification in Vietnam. And when they were spraying the Agent Orange, this was a form of environmental modification and testing. So in other words, they were doing chemtrail spraying in Vietnam, admitted in mainstream Pulitzer nominee books. So it shouldn't even be questioned or it shouldn't even be controversial. It should be obvious it's easy to verify this, but people are of course terrified by just the mere thought of this actually existing. There's also a great documentary that's called, I think it's called Chemtrails, The Secret War or something like that. It's the Italian documentary that you can find on YouTube. It's got 200,000, 300,000 views. It's really good. It's the best one I've seen. Everybody should watch that and start there if you haven't looked at this subject, but it's very real.
Yeah, we're not talking about it because we love Trump or anything like that. We're talking about it because there are patents for it. There are global treaties about it. There are movies about it. There are documentaries about it. There are U.S. officials that have admitted it on microphones, in podiums, in front of reporters. It's no joke. It's a real thing. I'm joking around a lot tonight, but it is a very real thing. We've done multiple episodes about it here in the Boiler Room, and Jay's most recent talk regarding that one, the Pentagon Brain, up there at his website is excellent. Highly recommend everybody check that out. I will do my best to put some links on tonight's show page. Also, there's the weather warfare one, and there's the what the hell are they spraying and the why the hell are they spraying ones. All good food for thought, and I just don't see how anyone can think that this is a joke at this point in time. So, in all seriousness, that's where we're at with that one, and Trump has nothing to do with it. If anything, Trump has to do with changing some things in the EPA whatever. My personal view is the EPA, along with almost all of the other three-letter agencies, should just be fired. And he should know how to say that. Those two words. You're fired.
Well, and there's like, you're not just spouting that off because you think it's a joke of a program. There are huge numbers of documented cases of the EPA botching stuff and putting out reports that were made of complete lies.
Oh, yeah. And screwing over our farmers and ranchers of this country. The EPA has just made dog meat out of our old school farming and ranching communities in this country and left us with the majority of that stuff being done by factory farms and factory ranches who don't care how much glyphosate and how much antibiotics you eat on the regular.
It's just another 3-letter agency of basically the equivalent of Hollywood that puts out a bunch of information and reports, and they have realistically taken away a bunch of people's rights, their farms, and poisoned people, and done the opposite of all the good things that they pose themselves as being.
In a very subversive manner. It's not necessarily them like going and taking stuff. It's them putting layers and layers and layers of red tape on salt of the earth style Americans who are no longer able to farm and ranch. I mean, the counties are just hemorrhaging. I mean, a lot of counties are ghost towns now that used to be farming and ranching counties. That's a fact. You can't argue that one with me. Don't even bother. Don't even try. Don't even send me an email on that one. All right. Anybody else want to talk chemtrails, weather modification, or mainstream media being so stupid that they think they can blame the president? I don't care who the president is. It doesn't matter. The president could be Spore. The president has nothing to do with the hurricane that is approaching. Has it landed yet, Spore?
No. Well, it has. It's started to hit the coast.
So the outer edge is hitting like North Carolina right now?
Yeah, it's really damaging so far, but it's taken a turn. It's not quite going so deep inside of the state. It's going a little bit more apparently north than necessarily like deeper into the.
So does that mean Virginia's maybe in trouble next, or that it's actually going like more?
Well, there's breaking news right now of like 70 houses that have burst on fire from gas leaks, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Boston. Yeah, I was reading this earlier.
And that's related to the hurricane?
I'm guessing it's storm
You
related.
say in Boston?
Wow.
Unless it's a terrorist.
Yeah, I was reading a headline earlier.
The terrorists are pumping the methane gases into the houses and lighting them on fire. They're pumping the cow gases.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Wait,
Did you know you can light a
hurricane
fart
could
on
be-
fire? You can light them on fire. The terrorists should do it.
All right, go ahead, Spore.
Boston has nothing to do with the hurricane. Massachusetts is way further north.
Well, I don't know what it is. I just
No.
that's what
I'm
it
just
was.
saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with hurricane. I think it has to do with gas explosions.
Yeah.
It has to do with the cows,
It has to do with the cow farts.
like George
Yeah.
said.
Methane, yeah.
So there's
gas.
a gas main meltdown in Boston right now with 50 properties that are exploding in
Oh,
flames.
aging infrastructure. Okay.
So this is totally happening at the same time as the hurricane is hitting the coast.
Wow. Okay, these aging infrastructure explosions, this is not the first we've heard of that. We actually had one of those happen in the Bay Area. I think it was in North Bay, maybe, like in Redwood City or something like that. But one of our friends, his parents lived there, and I think like he had a bunch of family there. It was his aunt or someone like that. This is Dick Rubin. What's up, Dick Rubin? Had their house blow up in one of those situations like this, where like a gas main went critical or leaky in a neighborhood, and a bunch of houses like seriously blew up. I mean, there was like they if I recall the story correctly, they had to leave their home. The dogs started freaking out. They were able to get like dogs and get in the car, get their go bags, whatever, in the car. And when they got in the car, there was so much fire in the neighborhood that the car actually was like hot when they went to open the doors. And as they drove away, this is better than Hollywood, folks. As they drove away, they watched their house blow up in the rearview mirror. Oh, gosh. So this stuff is happening, and our energy infrastructure is really bad.
Yep, they're telling everybody to leave. Get the hell out of town right now. Up to 70 fires are being reported in different areas of Boston.
So we got Boston having to get the hell out. We got areas of North Carolina having to get the hell out. Yep. It's a bad day for folks having to get the hell out.
Y'all shouldn't have voted Trump in.
Yeah, you guys brought this on yourself. You can thank Middle America and all this Russian trolling for that.
It's probably the Russians that did the gas things.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what the Washington Post would have.
Yeah, they'll say that. They said that Putin was doing weather control about a year ago. Remember that? The CIA accuses Russia and Putin of causing storms through weather control. I thought it didn't exist, but if it does exist, it was Putin and the Russians. I'm not joking. That was a real story.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, I think we might have talked about it on the show.
I think on Sunday Wire it was discussed.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, they said, Russia's making it so cold and windy here.
Yep. Well, okay, all right. Well, so that's going on. So places are blowing up and places are going to blow down. In all seriousness, though, hopefully everybody out there, because we have listeners all over the place, I hope everybody's okay in those locations. It's weird, too, because the mainstream media, another thing that I've noticed that they do, we've talked about this before, too, and I've seen a little bit of it for this hurricane coming in, is the, get out of town or you're gonna die sort of meme, you know, that the mainstream likes to put out. Like, they like to tell people, you gotta go, or you hate babies and flowers and clouds and you're all gonna die if you don't run for your life.
Well, and the thing is that I think on Monday, I have a friend that lives in North Carolina, and she said that on Monday there was already no water in the stores. People were already in huge lines at the gas station, and today, reporting from there, it's been sprinkling, and it was supposed to all really go down today. So I don't know if it's just an overreaction or an overemphasization, or the storm took a turn and they didn't react properly in the first place, or what the deal is.
I think I just want to comment on this. I think it's actually beneficial to give high alert for people, and people need to treat it as if it's something really serious. Sure. Because if you got stuck or people died, we're gonna pay more money, and it's gonna be more propaganda. So I know people that evacuated before, and it sucks, but it is, if it's your life and it's I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I totally agree there, and I think that we all should be prepared for emergencies at all times in general,
Yeah,
absolutely. But I do think that that these times can be taken advantage of by certain food storage companies or water suppliers and things like that as well. So there's
or media or academics
all of the above.
Government agencies like FEMA, it benefits them.
FEMA's
if they can get a lot of people displaced, they get annual contracts for their different locations, their different fusion locations. And if people are scared the hell out of their houses and go stay at the the FEMA location, whether that's your local sports ball arena or whatever, that's more money for them every year. And by the way, if we're able to control weather, why do we have hurricanes headed our way? Is that a side effect of them controlling weather somewhere else? Or is that controlled weather? Or is that natural weather that they're not going to control out of the way?
I was actually just shared I shared an article in the chat right now about, because I just learned about this, as Dubai has been seeding rain. It's basically seeding clouds to make it rain there, and that has a lot of side effects that start happening for the quality of the water and how poisonous it is. So, especially with the heavy metals concentration, with silver iodide.
Right.
Yep.
So they can make it rain, but in doing so, are they going to poison all the food that they grow when they make it rain? This is some meta stuff. This is super meta. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have more questions than answers.
But then again, as just to support points, is you come and basically, I'm sorry for using this word, you're going to come and bitch about global warming and how Earth climate keep changing. At the same time, you're trying to modify the Earth climate in some areas to either control it, to induce rain or to control temperature. And then you have no idea how the general climate is going to react to anything like this. So it's one of those left, what's the word I'm looking for? The left hypocrisy, or the left opposite ideology.
Hypocrisy is perfect.
Yeah.
Just not thinking deep enough. Not thinking deep enough. All right, I got that article there, Infidel. I'll put that on tonight's show page. I got that article there. Jay, can Russia control the weather? Out of Daily Mail. I got everybody's articles here. We're dropping them in the chat. I'll put them on. Now, Jay, what's your take on what that actually means? Because to me, that means we're gonna program it out. We're gonna, use blacklist of words.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that part again? What now?
So the Google, one employee asked one of the Google heads what Google's going to do about misinformation and fake news shared by low information voters. And the C-level Googleite up there says that investments in machine learning and artificial intelligence are their big opportunity to fix that problem.
Yeah, I just saw an article today saying that Facebook is going to implement fact checking for all photos and videos. I don't know how they're going to do that. But,
whoa!
I don't know. I mean, I hope that maybe the AI god is going to be the Snopes lady. There's going to be a digitized version of that Snopes lady and her cat. And that's the AI guy. I don't know. I mean, we thought it was going to be Skynet, and it's actually Catwoman. That big fat cat lady. That's the real Skynet.
Oh, you just ruined all sci-fi.
It's not.
Information voters.
Yeah.
That's actually less scary than the Skynet we were all thinking about, and more scary simultaneously. Yeah, machine learning and AI. I think that's code language for we have these stupid, simple algorithms, and we're going to take key terms like climate denier, like hoax, just this whole list of key terms, and take anyone who uses those too often and put them in a little sandbox with a bunch of other weirdos in a little sandbox, and they won't get to play with the rest of you people out there on social media who are sharing lolcats and skateboard tricks and pictures of your food and pictures of your granddaughters and grandsons, like that. You're in a different social media than everyone else. So that's our artificial intelligence. That's what we stupid heads out here are supposed to believe that artificial intelligence is. It's not some crazy smart like computer that's doing trend analysis and computer learning and all that stuff, which they actually do use in some science laboratories. This is people at Google and Facebook and Twitter and whatever else, all these other unholy cocksuckers out there.
You see, Hesher,
Valley.
you're not stupid, Hesher. You're just a low informational voter.
Right.
You know, we need to get some conversational health going about this, as Jack would say. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Well, Bryn said there that voting is not a rational act, and that not all of Trump's supporters can be attributed to income disparity. Oh, the income disparity. There's another flashy bumper sticker they use. He suggested that Trump voters might have actually been motivated by boredom rather than legitimate concerns. Boy, we did a great list of reasons why Hillary lost and why her book costs less than a pack of 8 rolls of toilet paper. Income disparity, boredom, Russian meddling. What else did we have? Oh, yeah, low information. So, oh, and fake news, of course, but that's just another, like, Russian thing, I assume, right? CNN wouldn't give us fake news, would they?
You thought it was Skynet, but it's actually HairNet by the lunch lady that runs Snopes because she's fat. Get it? You thought it was the T2000 coming to take over when it's the actually T2000 pound woman from Snopes who's taking over. Anybody got any more? I keep trying to think of how can you link the Snopes woman to AI. What's a good?
I think you nailed it, man. She is some sort of Terminator.
Sort of what?
She is a Terminator.
But that's who they chose. They chose her and other experts, right? Fact checkers.
Yeah. And there's the Wikipedia too. And the funny thing about Wikipedia that I learned recently is there's one user that logs into Wikipedia like 30,000 times a day and makes edits. This one account. I'll have to find the article on it. It's really interesting. I mean, I knew something funky.
That sounds like an AI, doesn't it?
Or an entire it's
a room of people using one account.
Right. Several rooms of people in different continents using one account, all going in and making sure anyone types in like moon landing hoax, Jeep buggy or something like that the Wikipedia link shows up under the video, and that it goes to the Wikipedia page where they give you the Snopes approved truth, the Ministry of Truth proved truth. Yes. So, Google, this is interesting. I'm surprised this one didn't start trending until today. It seems a little late for this one to be coming out. I guess somebody sat on it for a long time or somebody dusted it off and amplified it, but it's a good one. I recommend it. We'll stick that on the show page for tonight's show. You're listening to Boiler Room 181 on Alternate Current Radio with Spore, with myself, Hesher, with Jay Dyer, with Max, with Funk Soul, and Infidel Pharaoh. There's a big storm headed our way. Neighborhoods are blowing up. There's crazy crap going on in Syria right now, geopolitically, all kind of crazy shit going on. What else do you guys want to talk about tonight? Jay, what's on your mind?
I'm in the middle of the book Weaponizing Anthropology by David Price, which is an academic treatment of how the military and the intelligence agencies have utilized anthropology and ethnography. So they go in and they study cultures in order to subvert and win them over through psychological warfare. And then, of course, that has all been utilized by the globalists to full effect, as you could probably assume. So I'm going to be talking about that next. I know that subscribers are probably wondering what's up because I was so busy fixing the site. And then today I was just kind of taking a break and doing a comedy video, or an attempt at a comedy video. I think it came out okay because compared to most of the other people that do movie analysis comedy videos, they're not funny at all. They're all just pathetic. So I'm not joking either, being mean. They're like the worst soy boy, not funny, just pathetic videos. And I thought I could make better funny videos than these. So I, with my cleverness, resorted to fart jokes in my video, which is fitting with our theme tonight with the methane, because Stephen King in Maximum Overdrive gives us a 1-minute fart sequence with Emilio Estevez and a redneck in a bathroom. So it's It's a fun movie. If you've never seen Maximum Overdrive, I highly recommend it. It's up there with Mac and Me and other such terrible films. So I had fun making that video, just testing it out, testing the waters, competing with the soy boys who try to make funny videos. Anyway, so people can look at that if they would like to. The Jay's Analysis fans like it so far, at least. But yeah, it's pretty fascinating to look at what wartime did for anthropology, how it completely weaponized it, all the way back even to Lewis and Clark expedition, and then how the techniques of anthropology were used during World War I to the Cold War. And interesting, during the Cold War in the 60s, the U.S. Army came up with Project Camelot to study counterinsurgency and revolutionary techniques.
No way. Is there any relation there to what I'm thinking?
I don't know, but we probably have to decode the secret pyramid structures on Mars to figure out if there is a connection between those two. I don't know.
Right. Well, Eisenhower's granddaughter can get us to the Stargate, I hear.
Yes, she can travel through time, and she can meditate and speak to different entities from other dimensions and periods of history. But this gets into the RAND Corporation in Vietnam, so it actually ties in with some of the research that is in the Pentagon's Brain Book. So it's going to be a great discussion of a topic that's come up many times in debate that a lot of people are unaware of, which is the intelligence agencies utilizing academics. And so, for example, the second chapter of the book is the CIA's university spies, and it lists a bunch of different programs, PRISP, ICSP, NSEP, all these different programs that the CIA utilized academics for. So that's going to be an interesting, serious video that we'll do in the next day or two, the first half of Weaponizing Anthropology by David Price. And this is, again, not a conspiracy book. This is an academic book from, where is he from? Some university. I don't know.
Let's see here. I'm looking at the Amazon page for it. David Price, the author of Threatening Anthropology, McCarthyism, and the FBI's Surveillance of Activist Anthropologists and Anthropological Intelligence, the Deployment and Neglect of American Anthropology in the Second World War. He's a member of the Network of Concerned Anthropologists and teaches at St. Martin's College in Lacey, Washington.
Yes, and so I'm sure he's probably on the left, and this is promoted by Counterpunch, which I'm not saying that this makes everything he says correct, but it is going to roughly be correct in terms of demonstrating from an academic standpoint what anthropologists do and how their academic work is used by the Pentagon, the military, the State Department, CIA, and so forth. So, for example, when I got in that debate with that Mr. Atheist from whatever that one channel was, and he was like, trying to diss my book, and I was like, are you not even aware that what an ethnography is? And of course he didn't know what that was. So here's another academic work that tells you what ethnography is.
Excellent. Yeah, this looks really good. So if you're out there and you don't want to read this entire book, Price's inquiry into past relationships between anthropologists, the CIA, FBI, and Pentagon provides the historical base for this expose and of current abuses of anthropology by military and intelligence agencies. So very interesting sounding book.
Now,
here.
You want me to give you a movie where this ties in?
Yeah, hook us up.
You ever seen Indiana Jones? Are you familiar with this work?
Kalima.
Yeah. Do you remember what Jones, Henry Sr., he's an archaeologist. He works at Princeton or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So, and if you read, I read a couple articles speculating on some of the characters that Indiana Jones and his father are based on. And there's a guy who was an archaeologist who was also like some kind of military intelligence guy or something like that. But the point being is that there's a rough connection because archaeologists and anthropologists have all used that as a cover for espionage work. And in fact, one of the first famous anthropologists who himself was a scoundrel, Franz Boas, a long time ago, penned a famous essay calling out the American government for utilizing anthropologists and archaeologists as spies. And he said this is a travesty to science and to the progress of humanity. And meanwhile, of course, he was actually a scoundrel and I think was a grave robber. So, yeah.
Whoa, grave robber. That's extremely scoundrelous.
So he's like the evil Indiana Jones, and I don't know that he was necessarily a spy. I know his work was later used by intelligence agencies, but the Office of Naval Intelligence employed spy anthropologists and archaeologists as a cover. So,
all right,
you have a loose connection here, perhaps, with the figure of, and it seems like there's some other connection I dug up. I can't remember because I did an analysis of like Raiders of the Lost Ark like 8 or 9 years ago, and I dug up something that connected. You know, Indy's character is kind of playing sort of a spy. You know, it's like if you remember, they want him to the British guy wants him to go do work for the government. If you remember,
yeah, I do.
Yeah, so they kind of are trying to recruit Indy, if I recall. I don't know. I may be wrong about that. It's been a while since I've watched Indiana Jones, but it seems like there's something that hints at that in the film. I can't remember, but there's some basis for that, in fact, actually.
Nice one. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to checking that out, and it'll be up at jaysanalysis.com once it's ready and over at your YouTube, I imagine, at least the first half of it.
Hey, Jay, I just bought the book just now.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Weaponizing Anthropology.
Yeah, actually, it's not that long. It's about, 150 pages, so it's not a super long read. 180 pages.
It looks good.
Awesome. Okay, and it looks like Infidel Pharaoh and Funk Soul had to go. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you two joining us tonight. Sorry if I steamrolled
They always leave when I start talking. Do they secretly hate me? Is the sound of my voice great on them? Does it turn their soul to darkness? They have to flee.
I don't think so. I know.
It's my voice, and then it runs everybody off.
It does.
It turns them on.
Well, it gets pretty late for Funk Soul. He's usually only in for the first hour, so he may have actually stayed an extra 30 minutes.
This is like 3:30 in the morning for him.
Yeah, he's in a super late time zone. And Infidel, he gets up early. He gets
up. He's like a 5 a.m.er.
Yeah, he gets up like 5 a.m. and jogs 100 miles, and then does a Joe job and crazy smart.
Major superhero.
Yeah,
Joe job.
But he did drop me this this link as a follow up to what we were talking about there. Google employees quit over controversial China search engine project, report says. So Infidel, thanks for dropping us this, and I'm going to link this on tonight's show page. I haven't read it yet, so I will read it before we get together next time, and we can circle back to it, and the readers and listeners will probably all have read it by then, and we can beat up on Google some more. That was really fun, beating up on Google with everybody tonight. I needed that personally. I'm getting sick of the deplatforming and all this garbage going around, right, Spore?
Yes, and I just wanted to wrap around this sort of tangent I was going to go on earlier about the stupid, retarded.
Oh, we went movieing, yeah.
Awful.
Tell everybody what movie we saw.
We
can save Jay like $10. Jay, you don't need to go see this.
Yeah, this is called Searching. It's it was 92% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It looks stupid by the trailer. We knew it was going to be stupid, but this is the funny thing is that Hesher has a way of predicting the outcomes of movies. Like, we'll be like in the theater and like 20 minutes before something happens, he'll be like, she's gonna stab him with a knife on the left side, and like it'll happen. Like, it's like he's got this way of things. So we were headed to the theater, and I'm like, what do you think is gonna happen? You can tell this from the trailer. This guy is lost his daughter, and he's using social media platforms to try and search for her and get information, and has just like, well, it's going to be a whole bunch of low budget views of different computer screens and searching engines, things that we use all the time. It's going to be super low budget.
It's going to be all shot from webcams and iPhones.
Yes. And there's going to be a whole bunch of twists and turns, and you're going to not think that you know who's going to have done it at the end.
And it's got super stoner Kumar from the Harold and Kumar movies as like the main character. He's supposed to be this serious like dad guy. It's like the Silicon Valley beta cucked out version of the Liam Neeson movies where his daughter gets taken and he's like, I have a very special skill set. I will find you and I will pull your spleen out of your butthole and stab you in the eyeball. Whatever he said. It's like the total beta Silicon version of that, and Kumar never has to leave the house. He's just like at home, like searching Google and hacking into his daughter's Facebook account, trying to figure out why his daughter's missing.
And he's like, it's just a commercial. You're like, the entire movie is a commercial for different Silicon Valley products. Like the first one, it starts off on Windows like,
XP.
Yeah, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, Windows XP, and then it moves into like present time. Now he's using a MacBook, and he's using Google search engines, and he's using Facebook, and
every Silicon Valley logo you could possibly think of.
He's using his his iPhone for FaceTime. It's like disgusting.
All of them. Like the majority of the whole movie is shot like in a screencast for the most part. It's just nothing but a giant commercial, and it does. I think to like a lot of dum-dums out there, it wouldn't feel like a giant commercial.
They would have no idea.
Like it would just feel like using their computers. Like, oh, this is what using a computer is like. I look at the Google logo all day. I get FaceTime calls. I get iMessages, and for us old farts that were into computers in the early days, it's like, oh, look, there's AIM Messenger, AOL News and old message boards and stuff. But I mean, you could tell this movie was like 100% funded by Silicon Valley, and to get really neat.
Yes.
Oh yes. So it's got
best part.
The acting is terrible. The plot is terrible. It's all just awful.
Predictable.
A lot of awful sauce.
You are never actually surprised, even though there's like 8 different twists and turns.
Yeah, you can see each one coming like a mile away. But one of the funniest parts to me was there was a police department involved in the missing persons case that was the main center of the movie. And was it the San Jose Police Department? No. Was it San Bruno PD? No. The police department was the Silicon Valley Police. As though Silicon Valley is like a jurisdiction or should have its own police department or something. I don't know. It was laughable, but at the same time, it was almost kind of scary, thinking like, oh, wow, is this like a metaphor for...
Just giving you all some context, we are Californians. We know the entire area. We know the area code in which, and have been down the highways. Hesher was able to spot out specific parts of the highway and name them. And there was
on the Google Maps part?
There is no county called Silicon Valley or anything. This is a term that is... I hope I'm right in saying this. This is a term that refers to the tech industry.
Yeah. Oh, you're absolutely right. So it's just, I don't know, really stupid. But I was wondering if the Silicon Valley Police Department is supposed to be, is that like, an abstract for what we're seeing online? Or is that, hey, quiet? Or is that something, I think it's probably, I don't know, who knows? It's just... so stupid. The whole thing was so stupid, and an entire movie funded by the logos of the companies that we're talking about right now that want to be extremely involved in your politics and in deciding what is truthy and what is not, and who's viable online and who is not, and who is doing, what did you call it on Sunday Wire, Jay? Was it mean speak? Who's doing mean speak? So that's one worth skipping.
Yes, that's my term, trademarked.
Yeah, hashtag trademark
nice
mean speak.
I can't remember. Maybe Patrick said it first. I can't remember. But somebody said it.
It's a good one. All right. Well, yeah, so don't bother with that one, folks. What do you think, Spore? What else is up? Syria, I guess we could talk about what's going on in Syria. Are you guys tracking this one at all? It looks like, so from what I'm gathering so far, all of the terrorists left in the country are in Idlib at this point. And this looks like the Syrians are going to have some sort of offensive. And
is this the first time that the entire world has been waiting for the false flag to happen and everybody knows it?
Yeah, dude. I know, it's crazy. They're getting to the point now where they're actually doing like pre-crime with it, almost, so to speak. Like they're saying,
well, they actually renewed their warning again today about here's what we're going to do if you unleash a chemical weapons attack. I mean, I could understand doing it 2 or 3 days ago, but now we're in the thick of it, and they're doing it again, and it's just so obvious,
Yeah, man. So I got this one article dropped to me today. It's from Mint Press, and I'll give it the caveat of saying that this information is provided by anonymous administration officials. So, if you're the kind of person that takes that caveat and throws the whole thing away, I don't blame you. But nonetheless, this is a headline that's running for your consideration. Trump may strike Syria even if no chemical weapons accusation is made. The U.S. government is so desperate to prevent the Syrian government from retaking Idlib that it is willing to launch unilateral military action with or without the smokescreen chemical weapons justification it has been working to develop most recently, and of course used so much in the past. So that's kind of messed up. So they have this anonymous official here further claiming that intelligence indicated blah blah blah, who cares? And of course you've got Nikki Haley out there claiming the Syrian government is guilty of chemical weapons attacks even before they happen, sometimes out there just going totally mad. And now, from the look of this article, it sounds like they're trying to say that even if a large number of people are attacked, even if the majority of that attack is on Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorists from other countries that are in occupying Idlib, that we may see some sort of unilateral U.S. or coalition NATO military response to that. That's just crazy shit.
That's a we want war no matter what.
Well, that's what, we're hearing a lot of stuff like that. And I don't know what to make of it at this point. It's the same old shit, except they're, and I don't put a whole lot of credence in this particular article because we don't know who said this, so I am more of the mind to kind of toss it aside. But the fact that it's, this talking point is rolling around so much this week really has everybody wondering. The Washington Post admit that there are at least 14,000 Al-Qaeda-linked militants currently in Idlib. So, I don't know. I mean, what the hell? Why would Syria not be able to cleanse Idlib? I mean, that should be their business, right? I mean, if I forget who made the point, but someone made the point that, hey, if you had terrorist forces occupying, Washington and Oregon, what the hell would your country do? We've got an excellent military. They could go in there and just boot them the fuck out, just like Assad should be able to do with all these mercenaries from other countries. I'm getting some slapback and some typing sounds from somebody.
Asking if a person on the call is hitting the crack pipe.
Someone's hitting the crack pipe. Never mind. It's put the crack pipe down, Max.
The old crack pipe is getting hit.
Hey man, I was on mute. It can't be.
I was typing on my phone, but I don't have a pipe, so
all right,
I stopped vaping a long time ago.
Oh, baby.
I only vape crack. I vape meth. What's in your vape? Meth.
That sounds
Actually,
nice,
I was
intense,
working one time. It was like 4 or 5 years ago when I was doing my wage slave job, and I was vaping on the clock, and some guy was like, "Is that meth?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on the clock, wearing a suit and tie, vaping meth." Yes, that's what that. I said. I told him, I was like, "Yeah, that's what it is."
That's a very if a meth smoker was vaping it, that would be a very classy meth smoker.
Is that even
That guy's is he gonna wear a tux while he vapes that meth?
is that even a thing? I don't even know if you can do that.
I doubt it. I don't know. I don't know really exactly how you smoke meth in the first place, but I don't know. Maybe it's totally possible.
Oh boy. All right. Yeah. No crack pipes on the microphones, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing like that. Yeah. So I don't know what. We've had a couple of listeners write us, message us, and say, "Hey, I got a bad feeling about what's going on in the Middle East right now," and I'm totally understand where everybody's coming from. That if you're following all the stories coming out of any of the outlets, much less the majority of them, I don't know what to say about it other than stand by. Things could get nasty. And I don't know what to make of it. I'm just going to sit by and watch it go down. And, of course, I don't feel the need to go too deeply into it because that's something that gets done with a lot of efficiency on Sunday Wire. So I kind of hang back and let the Sunday Wire crew do what they're going to do in that regard because they've got people there in Damascus or even closer to Idlib for all I know. They've been keeping locations pretty close to the vest, obviously, for safety purposes. So tune in for Sunday Wire. It should be an interesting Sunday Wire this week. There may be a guest host. I'm not sure yet. It sounds like there could be a guest host situation one more week here over at Sunday Wire. But
who's that going to be?
I don't know. It might be me.
Oh, you.
I might have to turn that one on. So, yeah, if any of you boiler roomers want to join me, you're welcome to. But it sounds like Patrick may still be out this weekend. But we are expecting an update from Vanessa on Sunday, and I believe she'll be on the ground out there. So we'll get some good details from Syria this Sunday on Sunday Wire.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I might add to that topic is I really think the main thing to watch for right now this week and upcoming week is how Turkey's injection of large convoys of their own troops into Idlib may or may not affect Syria and Russia's decision to initiate a full-on invasion of Idlib, because that could create some serious issues with the triumvirate that they've created there between Iran, Russia, and Turkey in terms of mutual cooperation. But, with the U.S., the threats, that's just kind of something you have to expect because the U.S. has been the number one world superpower for so long. They've got to throw their weight around and appear to be the big bad guy on the block. They're in decline, but they've got to keep acting like, the world needs to be afraid. So, but we saw how that went down the last couple times with 70% of their missiles being knocked out of the air.
Yeah.
So, I really think the big story is going to be Turkey, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. I'm always so confused about what the hell Turkey is doing, what they're thinking, who they're allied with. I mean, one day it's China, one day it's Russia, one day it's us. I don't know. I mean, it seems like ultimately, though, it's NATO. But yeah, the whole Turkey thing, I can never claim to be an expert on that one because I'm just endlessly confused by what's going on there. But we do know that they are instrumental in moving a lot of these foreign mercenaries and jihadis in and out of Syria. So that's not good. We do know that they have profited from the war in Syria directly by buying oil from stolen Syrian oil from ISIS. So, I don't expect them to be a benevolent player in how this turns out at any rate.
Yeah, as far as moving people in and out, that just got me thinking. I think the most confusing thing about this whole conflict right now for me is trying to ferret out the truth versus just what are the. I have a feeling that a lot of journalists are confused and don't know how to report on certain aspects of the war. Not that they're feeding us misinformation, but they're genuinely confused, which makes me genuinely confused about, on the one hand, we hear that the U.S. is helicoptering ISIS commanders out of different parts of Syria, but at the same time, we're getting other headlines saying that the SDF Kurds, backed by the United States, are launching attacks against ISIS on the east side of the Euphrates River. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck, is ISIS cooperating with us, knowing that on the other hand, we're also killing their people, elsewhere in the same country, or are we getting the wrong narrative?
Yeah. Yep. No kidding. And another one that came up this week along these lines was the Dutch government, right? The Dutch government got caught with their pants down, giving tens of millions of dollars to Al-Qaeda-related terrorist groups and sending in some of the infamous Toyotas that we've seen them using, flying their ISIS flags and their mounted weapons on uniforms and such. I mean, that was a big expose that happened in the Dutch media this week.
Didn't Norway decide they weren't going to support? Was that the Norway or the Netherlands? They decided not to support the white helmets anymore.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that one. I believe it's the Netherlands, actually. I will find that article and throw it on tonight's show page. Anything else you guys want to talk about tonight?
Well, we could do an update on Ukraine. Jonathan, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Oh, Ukraine. Boy, it's still pretty quiet over there. I mean, I hear rumors about any day now, supposedly the 14th is when they're expecting some of these Donbass guys on the intelligence end are claiming that the Ukraine is going to launch an attack on the 14th of September, which I guess is tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure all the reasons why they're so specific with their information, but they think it has something to do with Syria, that it's all connected with Syria, and to maybe distract from, maybe to distract Russia to an extent from the Idlib situation.
Well, did you see that? I meant with the church, right? I mean, did you see that?
With the recognition of.
But today there was an article at Ortho Christian about the fact that the Uniates, who are the Roman Catholics in the region, are setting up a special ecumenical church with the
with the Kievan Patriarch.
Yeah,
yeah.
Also, that the spread of this stuff there has led to the rise of charismaticism in Ukraine now. So you're getting all these Western clown masses and crazy shit flooding in, which wasn't there before, but now it's all coming in. So it's all very illustrative. And by the way, what that Uniate charismatic situation would signal would be the possibility that some other friends and I had discussed that this could also signify eventual union with Rome. In other words, Bartholomew is not just positioning this because of wanting to do the behest of the State Department, the CIA, NATO, but also signifying a coming union with Rome.
To bring the EP into Rome. Yeah, and of course it's all meant. The timing of this is all meant to be coordinated with Syria and in the war there too in East Ukraine. So I think it's all tied in.
It is because it's against Russia. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I think I saw the article on that you guys dropped. I'll have to dig all these out and put them on the show page tonight. Let's see here. What else? Looks like there's something going on with EU approving some controversial copyright directive act of some sort. That one looks like it could